A report claims Spurs midfielder Palhinha could struggle under De Zerbi's system, claiming it doesn't suit his style of play. A player touted to do well, however, is Conor Gallagher, as another report claims the midfielder could really suit a De Zerbi system. Tottenham Hotspur's mounting injury crisis could begin to ease in the next coming weeks, with several first-team players edging closer to returns. And Will Lankshear scored his 10th goal of the season for loan club Oxford United on Monday. Here are your daily Tottenham news headlines. Hello, welcome back to the channel. My name's Craig and here are your daily Tottenham news headlines, where I'll be going through all the latest news, rumours and reports. If you're watching on YouTube and are not already as yet subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. Like, share and comment below. And if you're listening on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. And please make sure you turn on that notification bell so you get notified whenever we go live or upload a video to the channel. Okay, let's get into it. Gimme Sport report that one player who could struggle under De Zerbi is midfielder João Palhinha. The Portuguese international has been deployed in possession-based sides in the past, but he's going to struggle to deal with the intensity of the De Zerbi system. Looking at the footage from De Zerbi's first training session in charge, there is a heavy focus on short, sharp passing and intensity out of possession. That's something that Palhinha struggles with, and he might be the one player who sees his game time fall off a cliff under the new manager. De Zerbi will be spending this week working out who's going to be in his starting 11 for the Sunderland clash, and it wouldn't be a surprise to see Palhinha on the bench. Last season, under Vincent Kompany, Palhinha started just 6 Bundesliga games for Bayern Munich, which shows the struggles he had in adapting to their style of play. Kompany and De Zerbi share similar principles in terms of keeping the ball, and Palhinha is going to find it tricky to play at a high tempo, progressing the ball from deep. Palhinha has played 38 times this season for Spurs in all competitions, but he's likely to see his game time decrease under De Zerbi. The former Fulham midfielder will be hoping to impress his new manager, however, in the coming days, but it remains unclear whether he's still to be fancied. Football Insider state that Everton's former chief Keith Winers, who served as CEO at Goodison Park between 2004 and 2009, now runs a football consultancy advising elite clubs, states that De Zerbi does not have time to implement his style of play at Spurs. Speaking on the new edition of Football Insider's Inside Track podcast, Winers thinks Conor Gallagher could benefit from De Zerbi's style of play. He told Football Insider's Track podcast, "It seems that the strikers really benefited from De Zerbi really well at Brighton. I'm looking at Randall Colomwani, Matisse Tell and Javi Simmons to a degree. They are some of the players that will benefit from his style and his belief in the way he's going to motivate, because he can motivate groups together. It just took a little while for people to understand him and what he was trying to get across at Brighton. And this time he hasn't got that luxury. He knows himself, he's got to hit the ground running, and that's the difference. But those are the type of players that I think will benefit from his style of management. It's going to be a more forward-looking players, possibly Gallagher in midfield, who will likely like his combative style. There are some things that can work positively. For Spurs, they better hope it's going to be positive rather than ending the division in the dressing room. He knows what he's up against here. He's got to get everybody united and fighting together. Winers told Football Insider that Spurs ownership would back De Zerbi in the summer transfer window, as the club do not wish to go through another relegation battle. Transfer plans at Spurs are already on hold due to their precarious position in the Premier Premier League and the possibility that it could be playing in the Championship next season. The club, though, are likely to be active in the market no matter what division they're in, and players are expected to depart following this disastrous campaign. Centre-backs Christian Romero and Mickey van der Ven have both been linked with exits, while Newcastle have showed interest in striker Dominic Solanke. Tottenham Hotspur's mounting injury crisis could begin to ease in the coming weeks, with several first-team players edging closer to returns, according to an update from Football.London. Newly compiled timelines suggest that while Spurs remain without a number of key figures, there is growing optimism that reinforcements are on the horizon as the club approaches a crucial stage of the season. Mohamed Kudus is among those closest to a comeback, with the Ghana international expected to return in early April following a thigh problem. Rodrigo Bentancur, who has been sidelined with a hamstring injury, is also pencilled in for a return this month, although his situation appears more uncertain amid concerns over the severity of his setback. Elsewhere, Ben Davies is targeting a mid-April return from an ankle injury, while goalkeeper Guillermo Vicario is also expected back in April after undergoing hernia surgery. Yves Bissouma, dealing with a knock, does not yet have a confirmed return date, but is believed to be progressing. Pat Matassar picked up an injury on international duty and has not been seen in any training footage thus far since De Zerbi's arrival. The outlook is far less encouraging, of course, for others. Dejan Kulusevski is not expected back until May as he continues his recovery from a knee injury, while long-term absentee Wilson Odobert faces a lengthy spell out till November. James Maddison's situation remains unclear, with no firm date return established following his own serious knee injury. The overall picture highlights a squad still heavily impacted by injuries, but with signs of gradual improvement. For Spurs, the timely return of several key players in April could prove vital as they look to steady their season and improve results in the final stretch. And Will Lankshear scored his 10th goal of the season for loan club Oxford United on Monday. The front man powered in a header with 9 minutes remaining to put his side 2-1 up at fellow Championship strugglers Portsmouth, but a late leveller from Andre Dezel ensured honours ended even at 2-2. Lankshear's goal was his 9th in the second tier this term and 10th overall, having found the net against MK Dons in the FA Cup as well. The centre-forward and fellow loanee Jamie Donnelly both completed the full 90 minutes at Fratton Park. Okay, here's my thoughts on those stories today. Not tons of news around, as you'd imagine, a week leading up to the return of the Premier League. To Zerbi's, I'd imagine there's going to be plenty more footage coming out over the next few days of De Zerbi's training from Spurs. They're really going to want to push this to see and show how hard the players are working, and you can make of it what you will. I mean, hopefully we'll get sights of people like Mohamed Kudus coming back into training. That would be good, wouldn't it, if we can see that? Give everyone a bit of a boost before the weekend. This story about Palhinha that could struggle under De Zerbi, I'm not so sure. I mean, Palhinha, I personally still think there's a place for the likes of Palhinha in this team. He's obviously the best tackler in the team, certainly in the middle of the park. I wouldn't say it's curtains for Palhinha, but I can see what the article is saying, that, De Zerbi's style and under Company, of course, they're very similar styles of play. So probably doesn't suit, if there was a choice between our midfielders we've got currently, would Palhinha be number one? I wouldn't probably say yes. I don't think we can't be choosy at the moment because of the lack of options. So I think Palhinha will get his minutes. Whether he'll start the weekend, who knows? I would imagine if Archie Gray is fit and ready, I would hope to see Archie Gray in there. He's been our player of the year so far. Interesting that this other report says about Conor Gallagher. Now, could you see a Gallagher and Gray sort of double pivot in the middle there? I wouldn't be against that, seeing them both kind of in their natural positions. Have we actually seen that this season? I don't think we have, since they've both been at the club. So that would be intriguing to see. Likes perhaps of a Bergvall in front of them, or a Javi Simmons. Who knows what De Zerbi is going to be thinking about his formations wise. So it's going to be fascinating to see his first lineup against Sunderland at the weekend, certainly. But yeah, Gallagher could well thrive. To be fair to Conor Gallagher, he's had a lot of stick, but he's been played out of position a lot of the time, and probably in in a system and under managers that just doesn't suit his style of play. So could we be seeing the proper Conor Gallagher now? I'd like to think so. Let's keep our fingers crossed that we're going to see the proper Conor Gallagher, the one that we thought we were getting, almost like the Yves Bissouma we were getting from Brighton, and we've seen glimpses of it, but we've never quite seen that Bissouma at Spurs, have we? But yeah, look, I just see this as a fresh start. It's good. You've got to see it like that. 7 games remaining. Look, you've got to try and be positive, right? Because what else is there? We could be out of this mess by the end of April. In 3 games, we win 3 games. I know it's a huge ask, massive ask. Win 3 games, we're kind of out of it. So we could end all this and then look forward to the summer. If we don't, we're going to be in it till May, and it could run till the end of the season, the last game of the season. I've got some friends that have said that I think it's going to come down to the Everton game. Well, if it does. But as I've said, if we're at 1 point ahead of West Ham and Leeds, easier said than done, I know. They play each other on the last game of the season, so as long as their goal difference is better than one of those teams, we can't go down, because one of those teams is going to lose. Or if they draw, the one with the worst goal difference, of course, goes down. So regardless of what happens to us against Everton, but look, I'm getting far too ahead of myself here. But I know it's so hard not to, isn't it? I mean, I look at the fixtures all the time and I think, where are we going to get points? We could get points there, could get points there. I think we just have to take it a game at a time, starting with Sunderland this weekend. So fingers crossed we can actually get players back, as the Football.London article there mentioned. Could it be Vicario's back? I'd be surprised, but Vicario could well have recovered. He heals quickly. Could we see Vicario back in goal? I'll be surprised, like I say, but you never know. Kudus, that's the big one. Excuse me. Is he going to be on the bench? You can't imagine he's going to start, but he could be on the bench. That would be a huge boost, wouldn't it? Players coming back. It'll be interesting to see how well this squad does and how well De Zerbi's style does. We've just more options on the bench. We've had very few options over the last few months. So let's keep our fingers crossed again that players can start coming back for this run-in. Hugely important 7 games, of course. And finally, congratulations to Will Lankshear, hitting 10 goals for his loan club. It seems like him and Jamie Donnelly are really doing well this season on loan. Who knows? Hopefully next year they can come back to Spurs and push for first team places. They're probably at that age now where it's either make or break sort of thing. So yeah, let's hope they can come back and really impress De Zerbi in the summer. And who knows, just perhaps push for that to be full-time members of the first team squad. But let's see. That's all from me today. Get down in the comments and let me know your thoughts on all those stories today, or anything else you want to talk about as a Tottenham fan right now. And as always, come on you Spurs.